Welcome, Endy, to my record dealer platform. It's a real pleasure to have you today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Cool. I'm going to tell a little bit of history about how I found out about you, because we've never met in real life. It's the first time we talk online. I found out about you through Discogs, actually, through your alias Groove Bunny Records, I believe. I found out about you because you happen to register and sell a lot of rare Japanese records. And I was looking for those records as well, or sometimes I happen to buy them in Japan. And then when I go to register them in my collection, I see that you're either selling it as well, or you're already registered. So I'm like, where's this guy come from? And then when I checked, I see you ship from China. So I'm like, is this guy from China? And I was very interested because I thought, how does this guy know so much about rare Japanese stuff if he lives in China? Because it means like he's not living in Japan. So it's kind of hard to dig old Japanese records from China. So I was always curious about your background and what brought you to like Japanese rare records and all that. So I'm really happy to have you here. I think for people who dig Japanese stuff, they probably know your name on Discogs. So welcome here. And please let us know a little bit more about your background and your history as a digger and as a dealer.
I think from high school time or middle school time, I'm into some music called R&B or commercial R&B. You know, like it's because in China or in Taiwan in around 2000, this kind of music is super popular. Then while I working into high school, I listen more J-pop and some J-pop artists they sing R&B also because like Toshi Kubota. Later I find some Toshi Kubota vinyl, but it's another story. So after high school, I go to college, and one of my friend, it's another city called Ningbo, and I go to my friend's house, and we use something called FTP. I don't know how to say.
The
like,
online,
like a cloud, but super mini cloud of an area.
I know. It's a very old way to share files online.
And I just find something called digital library. It's like 10 or 20 gigabits of J-pop music.
Oh, wow.
On the FTP, and I just bought my first iPod. So I just spent like a few days to download all the things to my MP3 player. And also including some jazz music or bossa nova. I'm into I can say it's not pop music, but some other music is from jazz, it's from music, from bossa nova. And after college time, I start to go Shanghai for digging because I'm always collecting CD, but later I still buy CD, but after a few years, maybe like 2010, I start to buy vinyl because I listen more hip hop that days.
Okay.
Like from hip hop, I'm going to sampling, and so I'm trying to dig all the sampling source, jazz, disco, and for that kind of music, it's better to buy vinyl to find out some surprise. So about time, I mean, it's about 10 years before I go Shanghai every month, or maybe sometimes like twice a month, because my hometown called Jinhua is a small city. It's like the third line big city of China. Shanghai is like top, like Chengdu or Hangzhou is like the second line. My city maybe like third. There's nothing here. Only mountain and good food. You know, no that much like interesting cultural things. So I just go Shanghai for shopping, for digging, and so after I digging more in Shanghai, I found out a very interesting thing is about 80% of the records comes from Japan, because Japan really the distance is super near. Japanese people they buy and sell a lot, so some kind of like rubbish or no people want things goes to China. And beginning time I'm digging for funk soul disco or funk soul jazz funk, this kind of 70s music. I can buy a lot of early 90s reissue because in Japan market there is a lot of this kind of stock. Then later I getting a bit enough. I'm looking for what else I can listen to. I find so many like 80s music. 80s like Tatsuro Yamashita, Maria Takeuchi. In that time, like 10 years or 9 years before, it's like, or even Hiroshi Sato, you can buy everything.
I know.
It's not about no people want it. It's not. It's all about no people listen to it. Especially here, no people care. It's like all all $1
Yeah.
or all $2. Me also. I just try to listen to this kind of stuff by some similar feeling from the group, because I listen to more like 70s music, jazz, funk. So when I listen to Minako Yoshida, Wataso Yamashita, it's kind of same feeling. But sometimes even more groovy, more emotion, because they are Asian people. I'm also Asian people, so I can feel the very detailed mood. I trying to buy. I trying to see which album is better, because so many 80s Japanese funk. Some title is really good. From the start to the end. Some title maybe one or two good.
One track. The famous one tracker.
One track is very normal. But we have 30% is no track. So about 2 or 3 years, I just spending time to see all the stuff. And after that 2 3 years, I know which is better and which is I should buy, which I should stock. And also at the same time, I start selling records online. So I can say it's a bit early than Chinese people here. But I know in Japan, so many people, they always knows, but some of them not dealer. So it's different.
I was in Japan, like as I said, I was in Japan since 2008, and I started digging Japanese stuff from about that time, actually, like 2008, 2009. And until 2015, it was pretty easy to find, like, even in Japan, like, I mean, there was already some rare Japanese records, like, for instance, Orient by Hiroshi Sato. It's always been pretty rare and pretty expensive. But things like the Maria Takeuchi or Yamashita Tatsuro, they were super cheap even in Japan. And then from 2000, I think it was in 2014 or 15, when the first HMV opened, the first HMV store opened in Shibuya, they did a lot of reissue, like they reissued a lot of very famous Japanese records. And I think this helped spread the Japanese kind of like trend throughout the world. And then more and more people started to become aware of all the good Japanese music that has been produced in the 70s and in the 80s and the 90s. And people started to be more and more interested. And since then, the price just kept rising and rising. And it's become more and more difficult to find those records, actually. It's pretty funny.
For some title, I think before I found in China, maybe like 300 yen. And in Japan, 300 yen also. But right now it's 1万yen. I mean, of course I can understand, but I just say it's interesting. It's very interesting thing to me. Not all the people, not all the businessmen, they can see this kind of thing happen, because it's like 3 or even 100 to 10,000. It's a lot.
It is. When did you start selling record online? Like, when did you start your shop? Your shop is in Shanghai, right?
For right now, I have 2 shops. One physical shop. And one in Shanghai also is more like a studio. You have to not really be public on the street. But in my hometown Jinhua, I have a record shop, record bar called Wave. Because I told you I comes from Bossa Nova. The shop called Wave. It's from And also I selling records online. Taobao. Taobao is a Chinese
marketplace,
online market. Taobao and the Discogs. So 2 online shop, physical shop.
So your physical shop, it's not really open to public, but you receive like foreign people who come to Shanghai. You do some kind of session, right? Like more like private dealer.
They message me and go to my place to listen to my.
I see. How is the Japanese music perceived in China? Like 80s, 70s music? Is it still like nobody care, or is there some people who care now?
It's like super popular here right now.
Oh yeah?
One of the most popular music in China. You can see it maybe city pop. City pop.
City pop.
City pop lover can maybe same number as 90s hip hop.
Oh wow.
Maybe,
it's a big chunk of the.
Too many people talking about city pop. Before, like 7 years before, after I digging out all the good, not all, some good city pop music, I start play the vinyl in club. And in the beginning, most people cannot understand. So but right now, I keep no playing city pop in club because it's too popular. It's really funny.
I see. Yeah, I totally understand that. I saw some tracks and some album online becoming like just big phenomena. I think the emblem of that is Maria Takeuchi Plastic Love. I think the YouTube video for Plastic Love has like several hundred millions of views or something like that. It's like
the news said maybe last year or the year before last year, they say like foreigner, I mean compared to Japanese people, foreigner, the most famous Japanese woman outside of Japan is Maria Takeuchi.
this is crazy. All right. Okay, so let's move to the records you have selected for us today. What is the first record?
So the first record called IVU.
Okay,
IVU is
IVU. Okay.
name. I know her. It's my local girl. Also
Okay.
from Jing. She studied sound design or something in New York before, and also
Okay.
learning analog synthesizer there. And when she come back, we meet again and released in my label called One Asian.
Okay. Cool.
So I want to play the first track called
Yeah.
水晶山. 水晶山 is like Crystal Hill or Crystal Mountain.
Okay.
Because my city is famous for mountains around. Inside the mountain is my city.
Yeah.
And also we have a very famous mountain, also very famous tourist area called Double Dragon Cave.
Oh.
So there is a cave, and also inside the cave you can see some like very cold. I mean it's just a very different mystery area. And I don't know if she doing the music comes from the mountain, from my local feeling, but to me it's my local music. So
Okay.
I want to do so.
Yeah, please play a bit for us.
The only musician I know from my small city.
Okay.
And it's
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, a photo took in my shop, so I want to show a bit.
Yeah, so it's a very dark ambient.
Yeah.
Is it an album or EP?
It's a EP, but it's a bit long, like
Okay.
25 or 26 minutes.
Is it this artist's first project, or has she produced something before?
I think it's her first project, but she used to play in some like post-rock band. Her college time, I already know her, but because she's from a local, but that time we are not so close. So, but later we have chance to talk, and we see it's still easier to work with each other than other people because we are all from local. We know know the city, we know the easy part, we know the difficult part.
Maybe we can dive into the local scene a little bit. Tell us about your label. Like, why did you decide to create it, and what do you plan to do with it?
So Groove Bunny Records right now is more, I think more people knows it as a record shop, but in the beginning it's a hip hop label. Well, we released more than 10 titles of different hip hop music from China, and but later this label is only for my friends. So I have a partner from Guangzhou, and he is more into design things these days. Also in drum, like drum, he plays drum every day, but he don't really production so much. I mean, he don't really want to release, at least right now. But for the second label, it's called One Asian. It's just because I getting so many, I can say Japan or Japanese music also. To me, it's very important. Also, like last year when we can traveling for free travel, and I go Japan, like if at open I will go soon also for digging for business. But so I feel the power, really feel the power from our Asian people. I think we are smart, and sometimes we have really long history, we have different history, we can have totally different worlds, all human different. It's all different music. You cannot say which is better, right? You like this, I like that. So I want to explain our Asian power, let more people knows we also have really good sense on music for every style of music, not just funk, groovy things, or ambient or techno. Sometimes maybe I want to release like folk music. I can say it's kind of world music.
How do you see the Chinese local scene? Because from a foreign point of view, I think in Europe and in America, we don't really have popular Chinese artists for modern music. Like, for instance, maybe I can give you one name for like Chinese hip hop artists, Chinese R&B artists, Chinese techno artists, like all the, let's say, the modern movement in music for the past 40 or 50 years. It feels like China has been like kind of going through those without producing major artists, or maybe they stayed in China and they were never exported. But it feels that since a few years, I know with the like the hip hop platform for Asia,
88.
88. With those kind of platform, it feels like Asian music, and specifically Chinese scene with the young people in China, is started to develop more and more. What's your view on that?
I think it's still under normal. I mean, we have so many space can be better because we have story. We are new China. We are the people of new China. So we have something that for other country never happened, and so many people, they all working through the same 10 years. So I want to show the next record I want to sell is all about that. This one, you can see the cover. So I think this album maybe like 1986. It's just the beginning of the real new China. And you see this guy is playing synthesizer. And I can say this one is maybe one of the first synthesizer in China. So I can see that in that days, if you are a singer, you have to find this guy out. You have to meet this guy. If you want some like new music, you have to talk to this guy. Just he has this. Not so many, but in same age in Japan, you can see YMO, the guy called Hideki. He has so big room all about it's just one person. So you can imagine how many equipment already being used or be creative every day in Japan, and in China we only have one Really. So it's totally different world,
Yeah.
But nowadays, even Chinese people still not the most rich in the world. Some countries saying it's like want to be number one. Or they think too much. We are just normal people. I know we are even in my city, in my area, it's not a poor area, but still many people they are poor. They're not getting too many money to spend for living. It's okay, but if I want to learn music, I can buy piano. Not like that. So if you're really into music, I think your family can help you to buy like a keyboard, at least a keyboard or a laptop. It's different. It's different. So you can see so many young people, they doing rap, they doing like from bedroom producer to professional producer. Because from bedroom producer, you can making beats, you can making demo, and sending to some like local rapper, and then you be like little bit active. Then if you working hard, you're getting some over for like shopping mall shoes, or then you're getting some more money. If you are still working hard, you put back on the production things. You put back on like microphone by microphone, you will be better and better. But before, you have to getting money for food. So it's different. So
I see.
I mean,
I see.
still under normal, but I believe Chinese music, also Chinese musician will be better and better. We have so many Chinese people in the world, so it's
So that's why, like, I was always surprised that when I came to Asia, like, I found out there was like a modern musical scene in Japan. So they had like jazz, funk, hip hop, electro, and so on and so on. And then I checked Korea, and I found out Korea also, even if it's less than Japan, they also had some modern music, a little bit. But then I tried to look at China, and I couldn't find much modern music. And I wondered, why is that? Because China is such a rich country in terms of culture. It's a very, very deep culture and ancient culture. And I thought, why isn't there a modern music movement since like the 80s or 70s?
I think it's because American army for Japan also.
Oh,
Also.
True.
And for Taiwan, even for Taiwan, they are the beats music in there. 60 beats music in Taiwan is super popular, and so many artists, singers. And for Hong Kong, I think in the late 80s, Hong Kong has the best thing of Italo and Euro disco in Asia.
Oh,
for sure.
Really?
For sure.
Oh, wow.
Hong Kong is very nice in 80s.
So it makes sense. Probably the influence of American army was pretty strong in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan.
You can say it's good for music. Maybe it's good.
Yeah, for music it's good.
Some for other parts, maybe it's no good. So I'm okay. If I'm living happy, I'm okay. So let's listen to the next track. Next track is a synthesizer version of Chinese classical music called 春江花月夜, maybe from hundreds years before. So if you want to know the Chinese music of thousand years before, so this one is the traditional Chinese classical music.
Great.
this song should be use all the Chinese traditional instrumental to play, but for him, he just used one.
Yeah, one synthesizer. That's very interesting. You can really feel the Chinese culture influences in the music. How did you find this record?
Just to go digging.
Okay.
Yeah, just from the shops.
Okay.
Just to go shopping records. You can find it.
But it must be pretty difficult to find because there must be a lot of old Chinese records from the 70s or 80s, but lots of also records that are maybe not so good. So maybe you spend a lot of time listening to like records that you're not interested in.
But actually, it's not so really much Chinese record. I mean, mainland records, and special for if you can see it's a synthesizer there, right? But for others, it's maybe like sing for government, you know. Sing to the song. I mean, it's a lot, but for interesting ones, it's limited.
Yeah. So this one, it's for sale online. You have it for sale. Yeah. What about the condition? Is it still in a pretty good condition?
I mean, Chinese records, Chinese pressing sometimes even looks clean. Still bring this noise. It's okay. I think with a deep clean.
Okay.
So let me show you the next one. So it's a female producer, also singer from Taiwan called K Huang Yunling. This one can be played in dance for sure, called Don't Touch Me.
Okay.
So she played the keyboard. Also, she is the producer and she is the singer. She do her own music.
Oh, really?
And also
the sound itself, it really sounds a lot like the 80s pop track from Japan.
Yeah, but she never do cover.
Okay, because I know there are some Taiwanese artists who were produced in Japan also during the 80s. So I thought maybe this one has something to do with like Japanese producers, or maybe it was produced in Japan. No, she did everything.
This woman is super strong. She's doing everything by herself.
That's very strong. She's like Yoshida Minako. She writes, she plays, and she sings.
Yeah, she also do a lot of production for other singers.
Oh, really?
Still active nowadays and looks young.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this track is a fairly urban funk, like 80s urban funk a little bit. The whole album is like that, or it's only this track?
Only this track.
Okay.
Two track maybe, but for the other track also well production. I mean, not like shitty album and one good track, no. Because she is a producer, so it's good.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one. It's Japanese records. And it's an interesting one because when you see the cover, it's a movie soundtrack. And the actor called Hiromiko.
Yeah.
I think Hiromigo is quite famous also for as a singer.
Yeah.
He has many albums. So when you see this cover, you will think,
It's
it's another Hiromiko music, but no, it's from
Francis Lay.
Francis Days. And the short killer is dark, it's deep, and it's simple. Every time I play the track, I will think about what's the next one I should play because it's like.
It's a really 80s vibe. You can really tell it from the soundtrack. It really feels like a background music of some film or TV show.
And it's also a very little known project from Francis Lai, I think.
Okay.
And I don't even know any other of his 80s work. I know more his 70s works.
Okay.
I mean, the French movies.
Where did you find this record? Did you find it in Japan when you were digging in Japan?
The first copy I got in China because I want to listen some Hiromiko, but I just want to listen to different Hiromiko. Another, never see this Hiromiko, but no scene. It's all instrumental, so I check the full information. Oh, it's Francis Lai. So,
I
funny.
see.
And the next one is also a soundtrack.
Okay.
But it's an anime soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the musician is very famous.
Fujimaru Yoshino, I think.
Yoshino Fujimaru. And the track is just too good. And I hardly to find this second copy of mine.
It's a really great track, like super 80s urban funk.
And also the producer's guitar play is great.
It's very nice. Do you remember the first time you found this record?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for these records before I got my first copy, and I got my first copy in Shimokitazawa Disc Union. There is a sub right? So Shimokitazawa Disc Union, they have a dance music sub shop, and I find this one. I mean, not this copy, but my last copy there. I know it's super hard to find.
I've never seen this record.
Yeah, this is my second copy, and also the second copy I ever see in my life. So,
I see. So this is all for today. All the records that you have introduced today, I will list them on myrecorddealer.com. People can go there, and if they're interested, they can buy the record directly from you. So they will be redirected to your Discogs page. They all seem to be pretty rare records and pretty hard to find. If people like them, they should really be fast and and go buy them by you.
Especially for the B3 one, that one I know hard to find. Very hard.
Very, very rare. So I really thank you for your time, Endy, today. That was super nice to have you here, and thank you for sharing all those records and all this history about you and the scene in China. That was really nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.